Hi you guys, this is Allison. I'm hanging out in my space to craft. I just finished a fun, happy scrapbook page of my daughter and two of her half-sisters. And rather than put the scraps away, I want to try and use a few of them up. I have a lot of little scraps because I've actually done 2 pages. But these are my bigger scraps, and I like them together for kind of a sunny, happy card. So I think what I'm going to do is do a mat in this, and then a base in this. I might not make it a full base. I might make it a strip of this across, and then I have my circle dies already out for a sentiment, and I went and pulled some flower dies to sort of mimic these flowers on here, and I thought I might be able to fit even the biggest one on there. But let's try this medium one. I might cut both. Also out of this yellow, that won't work if I only do a thing. I'm going to cut it out of white and then use yellow scraps for the centers. And I have this Sizzix Thinlits, and it has a couple of different center options. In fact, I've already cut some, but they're not quite the right color. So I will do that for the centers, and maybe even add a leaf. So I'm just going to mimic these flowers for a focal element, and then do the sentiment. All right, so I've sped this up 3 times for this first segment, and then when I come back with the die cuts, I think I'm just at 2.5 times speed. So here I'm just cutting the different layers of the card. That yellow is really pretty, and purple's one of my favorite colors, and this daisies on a purple background is really, really cute. And then it has these dark green leaves. So I'm able to actually find a green scrap from my scrap bins to mimic that. So I'm just looking at it, making sure I like the width of it and the length. Oh, there's some traffic. Sorry if you can hear that. So this is a little more narrow than the card, and I'm okay with that. I like it sitting on top of the card. So I'm just taking a look at the size of the flower and then a circle die for the sentiment. And then I have the centers and the leaf ready to go. So I'm just searching for papers for those 2 things right now. So I end up using, I think, a different color for the green. I like that brighter green rather than that more forest green. And just a yellow scrap. I keep all my scraps by color in some old Creative Memories paper folders. And so they're pretty nice. They have a large section and then a shorter section for smaller scraps. I was just thinking, do I want to do glitter? No, I did not end up doing glitter. So I should come back in with all of the die cuts now. and I decide the daisy needs a little something something. So I'm going to get out my metallic watercolors. They're called metallic watercolors. I would call them more pearlized. And I'm going to paint the top layer of the flowers because I cut them out of the same color of paper, but I just am coloring the top layer with that yellow metallic. And then I'm going to do the daisy in the white, maybe off screen a little bit when I'm painting it. Sometimes, and I'm just doing the whole thing so that the whole thing is a little iridescent. And it comes out really, really cute. I just have to set that off to dry a little bit. You can see that the die cut moved when I cut it, so it cut off a little tip of the petal, but it's not a big deal because that's going to go off the card. So I can make that work. So I'm just going to set that to dry. It doesn't take very long because I didn't put a ton of the watercolor on there. So it made a really cute little flower. So I did the green background just to add a little more of that green and a nice contrast to the purple. And I'm going to stamp. So I'm looking for a stamp that will fit inside that circle. I'm going to try a couple of different ones. I had pulled them, I think, already. And it's one that says, I think God loves you, from a Meme Made It camera set. Just double checking this Pink Fresh Studios one to see if something will fit there. But I think it's a little too big. And so I go for it would be right to the edges, and that looks kind of funny. So I'm just going to go with the smaller sentiment. And I'm just going to use black pigment ink. This time I remembered to flip my my Tim Holtz stamp platform. The door flips around to allow for red rubber cling stamps versus the photopolymer or acrylic. And so last time I did a card, I forgot to switch it, and it does not stamp well when it's not deep enough or not shallow enough. So I just think I stamp it twice, and you can see I'm using my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And look, I'm being a good girl and putting my stamp away right away, so it doesn't just stack up on my desk. Proud moment. So now it's just time for final assembly. So I put this toward the bottom, third, and then I'm just positioning everything where I want it. And then I'll decide what do I want popped up. So I am popping up the sentiment. And then I will pop up the daisy as well. Now this is a little fussy, trying to get that Scotty tape does fit actually pretty well, so it's not too bad. But I didn't want it, I wanted the whole thing popped up, and in case it goes in the mail, I wanted it to have some structure there behind it. And then just making sure that that truncated petal is on the right edge. And then just assembling the center. I think this daisy came out really cute, actually. So then just deciding where I want the, and I end up having to cut that several times, I think, so that it will fit in there because of that foam tape. Because it was just a little long. I couldn't get it all the way under the flower. One last cut. And then I think that I add a couple of yellow enamel dots that were sitting on my desk, I think. Do I? Do I? Yes, I do. And we're about to slow down to real time. All right, here is another cute card made from my scraps. And in this one, I enhanced my plain Jane cardstock with some metallic watercolors. Thanks a lot, you guys.